Hi, everyone. I'm Mrs. Cloakey, and I teach 5th grade here at Salmon Creek Elementary. And today I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite books. Now, it's interesting. It isn't a chapter book. It is an everybody book, and it happens to be a bestseller. So if you've not read the book, I highly encourage you to watch the Academy Award-winning video, and you can just YouTube it and see it. It is absolutely fantastic. Oh, speaking of fantastic, the book that I'm going to be introducing to you is called The Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Morris Lessmore. And it is by William Joyce, who actually illustrated the book as well. It's quite beautiful, isn't it? With the wonderful books and, of course, Morris Lessmore sitting right in the middle of them. So before I read it, the snippet of the book, I'm going to just give you a little bit of a background into the book itself. And usually you can look on the inside covers of any book and get just a little snapshot into what the book is going to be about. Morris Lessmore loved words. He loved stories. He loved books. But every story has its upsets. Everything in Morris Lessmore's life, including his own story, is scattered to the winds. But the power of story will save the day. Here we go. The Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Morris Lessmore, written by William Joyce and illustrated by William Joyce and Jill Blum. Morris Lessmore loved words. He loved stories. He loved books. His life was a book of his own writing, one orderly page after another. He would open it every morning and write of his joys and sorrows, of all that he knew and everything that he had hoped for. But every story has its upsets. One day the sky darkened, the winds blew and blew, till everything Morris knew was scattered, even the words of his books. And you can see the letters scattering across the pages, and the house turned upside down, and poor Morris just sitting there. He didn't know what to do or which way to go, so he began to wander and wander. Then a happy bit of happenstance came his way. Rather than looking down, as had become his habit, Morris Lessmore looked up. Drifting through the sky above him, Morris saw a lovely lady. She was being pulled along by a festive squadron of flying books. Do you see the color in the picture now? Morris wondered if his book could fly, but it couldn't. It would only fall to the ground with a depressing thud. The flying lady knew Morris simply needed a good story, so she sent him her favorite. The book was an amiable fellow and urged Morris to follow him. The book led him to an extraordinary building where many books apparently nested. What do you suppose that building was? Morris slowly walked inside and discovered the most mysterious and inviting room he had ever seen. It was filled with the fluttering of countless pages, and Morris could hear the faint chatter of 1,000 different stories, as if each book was whispering an invitation to adventure. Then his new friend flew up to him and landed on his arm. It held itself open, as if hoping to be read. The room rustled to life. And so Morris's life among the books began. Well, that's all I'm going to read you from this story, and I urge you and hope that you will read the rest of it on your own. It won't take you very long. But most authors write about things that are happening or that are current or they've experienced in their life. And I wanted to read you, and I know this back cover is a little bit torn and tattered, but I wanted to read you the inspiration behind the fabulous flying books of Mr. Morris Lessmore. So I'd like to read this piece, and I think you will find it very, very powerful, as I did when I read it. William Joyce has been working on the fantastic flying books of Mr. Morris Lessmore since 1999. The story began as a tribute to the late Bill Morris, the soft-spoken, dry-witted pioneer of library promotions. Then Hurricane Katrina devastated Mr. Joyce's home state and interrupted progress on the book. The author saw firsthand the curative power of stories as he visited displaced children reading donated books in the shelters. And so Morris Lessmore evolved. And there you have it, the curative power of stories. Stories can take you from feeling sad to feeling happy. And I hope you get to experience the power of stories over the summer. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.